What's up, guys? Jordan here from Show Me Vegas, back with another buffet video, and this time I'm at the buffet that's widely considered to be the best value buffet in all of Las Vegas. This is the Garden Buffet here at South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa, and I'm here for seafood night. Hopefully I don't have to wait in line too long. Let's go check it out. All right, so I did get in and get seated here at the Garden Buffet at South Point, and that was a process. Seafood night here at South Point is Friday nights only. It's from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., and if you're not here right about 3 o'clock, you're probably not going to get seated. I got in line at 2:30, and I was pretty far back. I didn't get seated until 3:30. All right, let's go through the housekeeping real quick. $48.95 if you're a South Point Players Club member, $52.95 if you're not. I'm going to admit I'm not, and I saw the line and I just panicked and got in line without getting a Players Club card, so I was willing to pay the extra $4 to not risk not getting in. Whichever one of those prices you do pay, it's going to get you 2 free alcoholic beverages. You have a choice between red sangria, red wine, white wine, or draft beer. They give you drink tickets and you redeem them at the bar, or your server can get it for you, as was the case with me. Hey, it's in a plastic cup. Beggars can't be choosers. And let's go see what there is to eat here at Seafood Night at South Point. All right, let's start with the seafood, because after all, that's what everybody is here for. Right down on the end here, we have paella, we have oyster Rockefeller with rock salt, that looks good. Salmon with roasted grains, steamed clams, breaded scallops, sweet chili sauce, boiled baby potatoes, broccoli, and cauliflower. Here are the crab legs. This is Dungeness crab. Melted butter comes in little cups with lids on it. Shrimp cocktail. Those look pretty good. And then some assorted sushi. Soy sauce, ginger, and wasabi for your sushi. We've also got ceviche right here. Cocktail sauce and tartar sauce. So the section in the middle has a salad bar and a couple other things, but here are where the crab legs and the real shrimp are. These are the peel and eat shrimp, and this is the snow crab. We saw Dungeness crab earlier. Right around the corner from there is the salad bar. Standard fare. You won't find me eating any of this on a buffet, especially when there's crab. But spinach salad, beet salad, pasta salad, tossed chicken salad, BLT salad, coleslaw, potato salad, Caesar salad. Then of course you've got fruit. Once again, I'm not going to be wasting any space on this, but it's an option if you want it. And then down here on the other end, they have more peel and eat shrimp and more crab. It looks like this down here is Dungeness. So there's snow crab on one end and Dungeness on the other. Those are cold crab legs, and if you look at the line right here, that's for the hot snow crab legs. Those are right around the corner. All right, I've got to load up a plate and get to eating. All right, I of course went straight for the crab legs. That's what we're here for, right? They have a variety. They have Dungeness crab and they have snow crab. They have them chilled and they have them hot. I went for the hot snow crab legs, and they dish them out for you. And take a look at this plate. The guy piled it up. I already had a couple of oysters on my plate, and they look good. They smell rather fishy. I'm hit or miss with oysters, so we'll see. There is Tabasco sauce here on the table, so you know what? I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going straight for an oyster first. This is very unlike me. A little Tabasco on there. Let's see how this is. If this is good, then I think everything's going to be good. That's pretty decent. Like I said, I'm not a huge oyster guy, so all right, let's get into these crab legs. Pre-split, as you can see. They do all the work for you. The butter is already in these little cups with a lid on it. It's I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of congealed already, and this is early, so we'll see. These are supposed to be hot. They're not terribly hot, although I did do a lot of talking before I finally got into them. So the crab so far is all right. It's not overly flavorful, which is interesting. It has like a kind of a muted flavor. It's not super sweet like crab meat usually is. I don't know if that speaks to the quality or the freshness of the crab meat, but it's just okay. And here's the thing, the butter is already a little bit congealed, which is kind of gross. So that's disappointing because I love my crab with copious amounts of butter. All right, that's enough about the crab legs. I'm gonna finish this plate up and we'll go see what else there is to eat up there. Hey, while I eat, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, and that's Planet. You've probably heard me talk about Planet on the channel before, but if you haven't, it's a travel booking website that's based on the premise of connecting content creators like this channel with viewers like you to help you save up to 40% on hotels worldwide. Planet is a phenomenal tool. I've used it to book numerous hotel rooms, not just in Vegas, but elsewhere. They have partners across the globe, and they will save you big money on hotel rooms if you're willing to look. All you have to do is sign up for a free account, use my link in the description box down below or the comments section, or scan the QR code on the screen right now. That's going to set you up for a totally free account where you can search for these hotel rooms and save big money. You can also save on experiences like tours, excursions, and more. When you sign up for a free account and book your rooms through Planning, you'll also be helping this channel create more travel content like this video right here. It's a win-win. You save money. You can also see on the website our recommendations and find links to our videos for these hotels and these buffets like this one. It's a really good tool. Look for my link in the description box down below or the pinned comments. All right, let's get back to eating. Right past the seafood section is the Asian section. Beef and broccoli, Chinese Szechuan calamari, sweet and sour chicken, fried rice, just plain, no meat in that, Chinese vegetables. Here we've got shrimp and ginger dumplings. Those look pretty good. Chinese sliced pork, vegetable spring rolls, Chinese barbecue ribs, and then right past that is a Mongolian barbecue section. You can see the Mongolian grill back there. Nobody's using it yet, but you've got all the fixings for that. Carrots, peppers, water chestnuts, looks like mushrooms, broccoli, bamboo shoots, the works. Make your Mongolian barbecue right there. And then after that, we're into the Mexican section, which strangely starts with swai with poblano cream. Strange. Cilantro, fried rice, and refried beans. Fried shrimp, fish and chips, battered cod, and french fries. Those are in the Mexican section. That's a little strange. Pork loin with mojo sauce. Don't know what mojo sauce is, but it sounds interesting. Corn, flour tortillas, also hard taco shells and tortilla chips. Because here is your taco bar. You've got taco meat, nacho cheese, shredded cheese, lettuce, salsa, sour cream. The works for making your tacos. All right, I'm back with plate 2, and this time I went to the Asian section. The crab legs, quite honestly, weren't that good. They were, I would say, subpar as far as snow crab legs are concerned, which is kind of disappointing because that was the biggest reason I wanted to come. Actually, I think that's the biggest reason most people are here. I mean, after all, it is seafood night. The seafood section with the other stuff was pretty busy, so like I said, I went to the Asian section. And here's my plate. I got basically everything at the Asian section. I got some fried rice, I got some sweet and sour chicken, I got the beef and broccoli, I got the sliced pork, Chinese sliced pork, I got a Chinese pork rib, spring roll, and the Chinese vegetables, and then that is the shrimp and ginger dumpling. So let's get right into this. Let's go with the sweet and sour chicken first. I mean, that's a classic. It's fairly forgettable. For whatever reason, it's tough. Almost as if it's not fresh. Now, it's only 4:15. The buffet's only been open for an hour and 15 minutes. And by the way, they just finally filled the dining room. So it took an hour and 15 minutes to fully fill this dining room. Like I said, it seats 700, so that's about how long it takes everybody to get through the line. That piece is better. It's got celery and onions. Vegetables with it are good. All right, let's get into this beef and broccoli. It looks pretty good. The beef looks really tender. Now, the broccoli is definitely overdone, but the flavor on that is good. It's pretty salty, It's really salty, actually. But the beef is good and tender. It's not tough by any stretch of the imagination. And that's pretty good. If I were to go back for that, I would pick out mostly beef and leave the broccoli because, like I said, the broccoli, it's a little bit overcooked. All right. The Chinese sliced pork. There's not a great deal of seasoning on that. It's very fatty and it's tender. That sauce is certainly not an overwhelming flavor by any means. It's just mildly sweet. But the meat is tender. And there's some nice chunks of fat in there. That's pretty good. That's decent. All right, spring roll time. It's got a nice crisp to it. The Asian section's not getting a whole lot of activity up there. Everybody's focused on the seafood. I mean, after all, it's seafood night. So it has been sitting a little bit. But the flavor's great. I'm not sure if that's, it's a vegetable. It's just a vegetable spring roll. That's pretty good. Let's try the fried rice. I love fried rice. It's hard to mess it up. And they didn't. That's pretty good. And now the Chinese vegetables, which is mostly green beans. There's some onions, some water chestnuts in there. This is going to sound funny. Maybe this is my body crying out for some vitamins. That's the best thing I've had so far. And it's just mostly green beans, sauteed, some onions, and a water chestnut. That's actually really good. If you're looking for some vegetables, go to the Chinese vegetables. Those are excellent. All right, let's try this dumpling. I'm just going to cut into it. I actually can see pieces of shrimp in there. It looks pretty good. Definite ginger flavor, but not overpowering. I don't love ginger, and that's not overpowering at all. That's pretty decent. All right, the last thing is the Chinese rib. Let's just see if I can pull some meat off of this with my fork. There we go. That's fair. It's borderline cold. That's fair. I would skip it. I would go with the Chinese sliced pork over these ribs. Just okay. But overall, the Asian plate was pretty good. And considering I was a little disappointed with the crab legs, I think things are looking up a little bit. Probably going to skip over the Mexican section. I might get some fried shrimp, even though those were in the Mexican section, and we'll go from there. All right, I am back with another plate, and I decided, you know what, it's seafood night. That's what we're all here for. I better get more seafood. So I did. I went to the seafood section, and I found what looked like some pretty good items. I got the oysters Rockefeller, which looked terrific. I got a shrimp cocktail, which looks pretty good too. I got some breaded scallops and some fried shrimp, which, let's face it, they look pretty much like they came out of the freezer section of the grocery store, but I'll give them a try. I was a little disappointed, a lot disappointed with the snow crab. So I did get 3 Dungeness crab legs to see if that's any better. Hopefully it is. They are hot, I can tell you that. That's good. I got a little bit of ceviche as well. So, better luck this time with the seafood plate. Let's dig into it. Let's just go breaded scallop right off the top. Why not? I don't taste any scallop in there whatsoever. All breading. It's all breading. It's not even good breading. I got a little seafood flavor there at the end. I think it's a tiny scallop in some big breading. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran down to the grocery store and bought those out of the freezer section. Totally forgettable. Don't worry about that. Let's just go ahead, while we're on the topic of freezer section seafood, let's see if the shrimp's the same way. Yes, but in a better way. I mean, that's a decent shrimp, but it's also very much grocery store quality. It's just fine. I mean, I would eat these all day long. I wouldn't eat those scallops. As a matter of fact, I won't eat those last 2 scallops. Not worth it. The shrimp, pretty good though. I will eat the other shrimp. All right, 1 for 2. Let's try some oysters Rockefeller. Now these do look good. There was a guy in front of me in the lineup there who was just raving about them. I think he put about 12 of them on his plate while he was raving to me about them. So let's give that a try. Looks like that's scooped off very easily. Right. You'll like that even if you don't like oysters, because you know what that really tastes like? Like a chicken bacon ranch Alfredo with a little oyster in the middle, but there's so much other flavor there that you probably wouldn't even know you're eating an oyster, which I guess might be the point for some people, to doctor them all up like that so that they can't taste the oysters. It is delicious though. It's super cheesy. There's bacon and spinach. This one right here has a lot more oyster to it. There's a lot more meat on the oyster, so this one might be a little more seafood forward. That is quite good. That's one of my favorite things that I've had so far. It's funny, the two things now that are the leaders in the clubhouse, the Asian vegetables, which was mostly just green beans, and the oysters Rockefeller. Not bad. I did get my second glass of cab. I say glass, my second cup of cab. So I'm all out of tickets. This will be my last beverage. But, I mean, you got to consider, a glass of wine, even at a buffet in Las Vegas, is normally going to cost, I don't know, minimum $12, upwards of $18. And you're getting two with your buffet price here of $48.95. I can't complain. All right, let's try this shrimp cocktail. Now, it looks heavily seasoned. I didn't get any cocktail sauce for some stupid reason. I didn't even think about it. It's not at the bottom of the cup. I think I was maybe thinking it was. So I didn't even get any cocktail sauce, so it's just the shrimp by itself. But this should be a pretty good test of whether it's a good shrimp. It's a great shrimp. Nicely chilled. Old Bay seasoning. That is why it's colored like that. It's Old Bay seasoning. I don't need the cocktail sauce. That's fantastic. New best thing that I've had today. I would go back and get more of those. As a matter of fact, I just might. That's terrific. All right. Things are looking up. Let's try the ceviche. You can see the little shrimp in there. Cucumbers, tomatoes, basil. That's okay. A little bit of heat. A little bit of heat there. And I like spicy food, and there's some heat to that. It's fresh. After having that shrimp cocktail, the shrimp is a little disappointing in the ceviche. But overall, I really like the spice to that. That's pretty good. Add that to the do's list. All right, Dungeness crab time. Let's give this a try. I think I can break at least one of these without using the cracker. No, maybe not. This isn't going all that well. There's a tiny little piece of meat. All right, there we go. There's some meat in a Dungeness crab leg. Let's try that. I'm going no butter because the butter, if it was congealed before, you better believe it's almost a solid now. So I'm going to go no butter on this. Quite a bit better than the snow crab. And I normally greatly prefer snow crab. Quite a bit better. Now you've got to do a little work with these because these are not split for you. They can't because they're smaller legs. There's some of the meat. All right, I'm going to dip it in a little bit of the congealed butter just because I think it needs it. Let's try. Yeah, the butter's terrible, by the way. And if you know me, I consider butter its own food group. So for me to say the butter's not very good, it's very salty. If I say the butter's not very good, it's probably not very good. All right, what else I got on this plate that I haven't eaten? Nothing. All right, I think that does it for me in seafood tonight. So next time I go up, definitely get something from the carving section before we're done with this. This buffet does feature prime rib. It's seafood night featuring prime rib, so I'd be foolish not to get some prime rib. I'll go back up there and we'll see what I come back with. Next up is the Italian section, and of course it starts with pizza. Looks like there's cheese pizza there. Some pepperoni that's kind of a flatbread, square slices. Garlic and mushroom pizza. Here's a meat lover's calzone and a vegetable calzone. Chicken parmesan supposed to be right here, but it's not out at the moment. Garlic bread. Those garlic rolls actually look pretty good. And then you can make your own pastas over here. You've got linguine. You've got marinara and white clam sauce. And over here you have red clam sauce and garlic shrimp. It says garlic shrimp. I guess that's a garlic shrimp sauce. Chicken Joanne, seafood chapino, and swordfish with niçoise sauce. Had to read that twice. All right, we're into what's labeled the barbecue section. Now it starts with peas and carrots and alpine noodles, beef bourguignon, and just plain old mashed potatoes right there. We get around this little divider, and we're getting toward the carving section. Got brown gravy right next to shrimp lemon butter. Interesting. All right, we've got fish right here. Not sure, looks like we've got salmon, and I'm not sure what the other one is. Maybe tuna. And then it looks like we've got ribs. We're not labeled here. It looks like there's maybe a beef steamship there and maybe a sirloin. I also see some turkey back there, roasted chicken, maybe 2 kinds of ribs. All right, back once again. I did say that if you're at Seafood Night featuring prime rib, you better get the prime rib, and so that's what I've done. Here it is, and it's red. Now, listen, prime rib is best medium rare. That's how it's supposed to be, but if you don't like it that way, they do have 2 different prime ribs up there. One of them is more of a medium well. It almost looked well done. And then there's one that's a classic medium rare, and I went with the classic medium rare. I will say it is quite red. I also asked him for a smallish piece, and guy at the carving station was super cool. I asked him for a smallish piece, and he actually obliged. I got a smallish piece of prime rib. It does look very red, like almost unnaturally red. I mean, you can see it right there. And all I have to cut it with is a butter knife, so forgive my cutlery skills here. Also, by the way, this is probably going to be the most I've ever eaten on one of these buffet videos. Normally, it's funny, I don't even eat all that much, but the only thing I've had today is a breakfast sandwich, and that was hours ago, so. All right, first piece of prime rib. It looks pretty classic, although, like I said, slightly unnaturally red. It's nice and tender. You can tell by looking at it how juicy it is, so that's not a concern either. It's not super flavorful, but there's certainly not anything wrong with it. Admittedly, I'm not the world's biggest prime rib fan. I like it a little bit. I don't love it. I don't dislike it. I'm going to say it's a little bit above average. It's fine. I would certainly, if I'm a prime rib fan, I wouldn't be unhappy about it at all. So if you like prime rib and they serve you this piece, I think you're going to be pretty happy with it. Also on this plate, excuse me for talking with my mouth full, but I have to keep this moving, you know. Also on this plate, I got a beef rib, and they did not have turkey. I asked him, he said no turkey, just chicken. I didn't want like a whole quarter chicken, whatever that was. And so I passed on the white meat, but I did get a beef rib. And I also got some mashed potatoes, which looked good because I noticed that there were skins in the mashed potatoes, so you know they're real potatoes. These aren't any instant type of thing. These are great. I'm trying to decide if that's the gravy. I put a little bit of brown gravy on there, but not a lot. So let me just try like mostly gravy and see if that's the flavor. The brown gravy is really good too. They're just fantastic mashed potatoes. You don't often see that on a buffet. Usually they're kind of an afterthought. Those are great. Enough fangirling over mashed potatoes. Let's try the beef rib, shall we? That may have been a tiny bite, but what a great smoked flavor. The beef rib blows the prime rib out of the water. And the prime rib wasn't bad, but the beef rib blows it out of the water. That's fantastic. That's going up close. Now, it may be just a touch dry, but from a flavor standpoint, that goes, I think, almost right to the top of the things I've had today at this buffet. Yeah, that's really good. It is definitely just a little bit dry. But this is going to be a nice juicy piece right here with some of those fantastic mashed potatoes. Let's just put some more on there. All right, what little I got from the barbecue section was really good. I am starting to get a little bit full now. So I'm going to have to start thinking about dessert because I love the dessert sections on buffets. Theirs here at South Point is a little bit small. I'm going to go get a plate. You hold tight, and I'll show you. Let's have a look at the desserts. We've got assorted pies. I see pecan, I see German chocolate, I see lemon meringue, some chocolate, pumpkin pie, lots of different pies down here. They all look pretty good, and some cakes. This one is just for decoration, I believe. It says no sugar added. I don't think any of that is actually being served. That's just for looks. We've got chocolate cake here and a carrot cake, pineapple upside down cake. I'll have to get some of that. We've got some eclairs and some cupcakes. some sugar cookies, and then of course they do have gelato. Looks like 3, 6, 9, 12 different flavors. Looks pretty tasty. Apple cobbler, custard, bread pudding. Bread pudding looks good. I'm a bread pudding fan. Then we've got assorted shooters. They're calling these assorted shooters, and cheesecake pops. Some more little cakes down here at the end. And then of course they do have soft serve. Vanilla and chocolate. Looks like twist is an option as well. And then here are your toppings for the soft serve. All right, the time has come for dessert. I've never considered myself a big sweets fan until I started eating buffets on video. And then I realized clearly I am a sweets fan because this is usually my favorite part of a buffet, at least in Vegas. It was a big letdown the last time I had a buffet. That was at Main Street Station. If you want to see that video, I'm going to put a link to that in the description box below. But this has to be better than the dessert I had at Main Street Station. And it looks better. Right off the bat, I got some bread pudding, which is clearly not extra runny tonight. As a matter of fact, on I don't know, to the naked eye, and I don't know if it looks that way on camera, it kind of looks like scrambled eggs, which is not a very becoming description for bread pudding. But I see some raisins in there. Let's just dive right into that first. Oh yeah, texture is just right. It may look like scrambled eggs, but rest assured it does not taste like scrambled eggs. That's good. I like that a lot. All right, now hopes are high for the rest of this plate. I got German chocolate. I got carrot cake. I got pineapple upside down cake. I love pineapple upside down cake, so let's go there next. It seems moist. The problem at Main Street Station was all of the desserts were dry. That's moist. Nice big pieces of pineapple, slices on top. That's above average. Fresh cake. 2 for 2 on the desserts. All right, let's get into the carrot cake while we're running hot. Now that cut a little bit like it's a little bit drier. Let's have a look. That cut like it's a little bit drier. And it is a little bit drier. Classic cream cheese icing. Okay, I just got a piece on the outside and it was very dry. So maybe it's been sliced for a long time, I don't know. But the flavor is good. Icing is excellent. That's not nearly as good as the first two, but that's pretty solid. Last but not least, the German chocolate. I love the look of the icing on that. The cake itself, maybe dry, let's find out. The cake is strangely dry. Hold on. Maybe a slicing thing again. There's so much icing on it, it's hard for it to be too dry, but the cake is a little dry. Good flavor though. I definitely recommend the bread pudding. I definitely would get the pineapple upside down cake, especially if that's your thing. The gelato was holding up the line up there, so I skipped the gelato. Although they had some fantastic flavors. I heard a guy behind me order creme brulee flavored gelato, and I almost got back in line to get some of that. Problem is the plate up there was so hot it was nearly burning my fingers, and they were going to just put it on my plate. Oh well, I'm not mad about it. This dessert plate is actually pretty good. It's a far cry better than my last buffet at Main Street Station. Don't confuse it for Bacchanal or Wynn. It's more like on par with like the Excalibur buffet dessert section. But it's good, not great, but it's good. All right, I'm going to finish up dessert, relinquish this table to somebody who really needs it out there in line, because by the way, that line, it's now 5:20 p.m. and that line is just as long as it was when I got in it at 2:25 this afternoon, 2:35. You're going to have to wait, and you're going to have to wait a long time. And the only place to wait is in the line. You can't just get a number. You can't put your name or your phone number in. You have to just stand in the line. It's archaic, and it looks brutal out there right now. So I'm going to give this table up to somebody who probably really wants it right now. And you know what? I'm staying here at South Point tonight, so I'm going to wrap this video up upstairs in the hotel room. All right, back up to my room. I checked out that line on the way out, by the way, and it was even longer than it was at 3 o'clock when the buffet opened. Those people are going to be waiting a long time. And if you get to that buffet after 4 o'clock and see that line, I would tell you not to do it. It's going to take those people at least 2 hours to get through, which leads me to my overall thoughts about the Garden Buffet at the South Point here in 2025. I, like you probably have also, saw a lot of stuff about this buffet online, YouTube, praising it for being such a great value. So I was excited to see how it stacked up against the other buffets I've had in Las Vegas, and I've had all of them on the Strip and a couple of others, which left me a little bit disappointed in my experience tonight. Let's talk about the food, the atmosphere, and the value of this buffet. First and foremost, the food. That's the most important part. I thought the food was fair. There were some standout items. There were some things that I thought were really good, but there were several things that were disappointing, including the crab legs. And let's face it, it was seafood night at the buffet. You better have good crab legs, and those were below average crab legs. They had very little flavor. They didn't taste particularly fresh. So the food, I thought overall, was just fair. The atmosphere at the Garden Buffet I thought was rather nice. I mentioned how good the service was, and the service was excellent. The staff was phenomenal. My server was great, and I really do believe that the staff there takes great pride in working at that buffet, and they do a phenomenal job. That leads to a nice atmosphere in and of itself, but also the dining room. It's well lit, it's well spaced. You're not crammed on top of somebody else. There are no two top tables in that entire buffet, which was great for me because filming a YouTube video at a two top table when your neighbors are right here is really awkward. I was glad to have a four top with a lot of space around me, and it's a pleasant dining environment. Finally, let's talk about value, and this might seem strange because I just said the food was fair. The value of this buffet, even at $48.95 or $52.95 like I paid, I think is still pretty good. In Las Vegas, that's hard to come by, and let's not forget that included 2 free glasses of wine for me, or you could get 2 free beers or 2 glasses of sangria, your choice. Those 2 items are worth at least $20, maybe $24 at any other buffet. So considering you're getting those 2 drinks and unlimited food, crab legs, prime rib, whether you think it was better than I did or not, I still think that's a great value because you can get stuffed and get 2 drinks for less than $50. You're not going to find that in Las Vegas almost anywhere. Hey, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime we release new content here on the channel. I've got to be moving on. You know what that means. I'll see you in that next video because there's always more for us to show you on Show Me Vegas.